The Stoics didn't dance around the truth. In fact, Marcus Aurelius hated people who said, "Let me be honest with you." He said, no, it should be written on your forehead that what you say is what you mean. If it's not true, don't say it. But conversely, I think also, if it is true, you have to say it. Nobody said the truth would be easy, but that doesn't make it any less essential. And that's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what the Stoics think you need to hear. You gotta stop saying maybe when what you really mean is no, and you definitely have to stop saying yes to so many things. The question Marcus Aurelius said we need to ask is this thing necessary? Because he said so much of what we do is not necessary, it's not essential, and we have to eliminate it if we want to do the essential things better. We do too many things because people ask, we do too many things because we've always done them, we do too many things because we are afraid to say no. Marcus Aurelius, when he woke up and he wanted to stay in bed, he said, is this what you were put here for, to huddle under the covers and stay warm? No, he said, go and do what your nature, what your potential demands. Most things are not in your control. It would be nicer if they were, but they aren't. So you have to practice acceptance. The Stoics call this the art of acquiescence. They call this resignation. There's all the things happening in the world and the tiny bit of them that are in your control. The Stoics need you to accept that the world does not revolve around you, that you are not important, but that doesn't mean you're powerless, right? The Stoics say you don't control what happens, but you control how you respond to what happens. Do not be a know-it-all. The thing about being a know-it-all is that you're right. It becomes impossible for you to learn anything else. Epictetus's line was, "It is impossible to learn that which you think you already know." Humility is the way to learn and get better. The people you meet are gonna suck. This is the harsh truth that Marcus Aurelius opens meditations with. He says they're gonna be jealous and annoying and difficult and stupid. They're gonna be all these things. We know they're gonna be these things. We have to go into the day with our eyes wide open. That's the harsh truth part of it. But the uplifting part, the happy part of it is the second part. He says, but they can't implicate you in ugliness. And he says, more importantly, remember that you're made to work together, that life is incomplete without those kinds of people, and that we're related and that we share an affinity and a bond for each other. We can't be surprised by it. We can't let it suck us down, and we can't let it change us for the negative. We still have to be good. We still have to do our job. We still have to play our part. Ambition is a form of insanity, right? At the essence of Stoic philosophy is focusing on what we control. We don't control what other people say or do or think. I try to write really good books. I've had to do a lot of work to realize I don't control whether they become a bestseller or not. The New York Times decides that. Marcus Aurelius explains this perfectly. He says, ambition is when we tie our happiness to what other people do or say or decide. He says sanity is when we tie it to our own actions. So I have to define success as writing the best book that I'm capable of fulfilling my own artistic vision. Everything else, right, what the gatekeepers decide, what the audience decides, when they decide it, that has to be seen as extra unless I want to go insane. You and most people are illiterate. Not literally illiterate, but functionally illiterate. General James Mattis, former Secretary of Defense, 4-star general in the Marines, he says, if you haven't read hundreds of books, you are functionally illiterate. Epictetus said, it doesn't matter that you read, it matters what you read. I would argue it matters how you read. Are you reading diligently? Are you reading the master thinkers? Are you rereading the master thinkers, as Seneca said we have to do? We have to come back to the core texts over and over and over again, really understand them, really bring them into our DNA. We can't just be satisfied getting the gist of things, as Marcus Aurelius learned from his philosophy teacher. We have to read deeply, we have to read intensely, we have to read and reread. We have to turn those words into our own words. That is to say, synthesize and then apply them to our lives. And most people just plain aren't doing that, which is why it has been said that there is no difference between someone who does not read and someone who cannot read. right? It's how you read and how much you read and how much work you put in that ultimately determines whether you are literate or not. Does this thing actually matter? What you have planned for the day, what you've been signed up for, does it actually matter? Marcus Aurelius says we have to constantly asking ourselves, is this thing essential? Because when we eliminate the essential, we get to do the essential things better. You got to exercise. You have to be active. And now we're not exercising for vanity purposes. We're not building muscles so we can look jacked, right? We are trying to cultivate strength, physical and mental. Seneca said we treat the body rigorously so that it's not disobedient to the mind. We are cultivating discipline. When you think of a philosopher, you don't think of an athlete, but in the ancient world, many of them were. Chrysippus was a runner. Cleanthes was a boxer. Marcus Aurelius was a wrestler. I run and swim and bike. The point is, get active, get moving. You need a strong mind in a strong body, and that means doing it every day. You've probably heard of 8 Sleep by now because I talk about it all the time. I woke up on my 8 Sleep mattress pad this morning and I've slept on one for years. 8 Sleep is a company that is about improving your sleep, and they have dramatically improved mine. The Pod 5 is the newest generation of 8 Sleep's signature product, the Pod, which is a smart mattress cover that you put right on top of your existing mattress. Their results are up to 1 hour of additional quality sleep per night. 8 Sleep also just came out with their new Pod pillow cover. It syncs with your Pod system and automatically adjusts your head and neck temperature in real time based on your sleep patterns. And like the mattress cover, you slip it over any pillow you already love. Just head over to 8sleep.com/dailystoic now and use code dailystoic to get $350 off your very own Pod 5 Ultra. And the best part is you still get 30 days to try it at home and return it if you don't like it. But I think you'll love it. Your body will thank you for this investment in better sleep. 8 Sleep ships to many countries worldwide, and you can see all the details at 8sleep.com/dailystoic. If you're not journaling, you are not practicing Stoicism. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, all the ancient Stoics praised the benefits of journaling, putting it down on the page, working it out on the page. That is to say, instead of on other people, instead of just having it pinging around inside your head, you got to be reflecting, you got to be analyzing, you got to be exploring, you have to be repeating over and over again the lessons from the ancients and the values you are trying to apply in your life. How does Marcus Aurelius become Marcus Aurelius? Through his journal. We see in Meditations Marcus Aurelius fighting to be the person that philosophy tried to make him. He is journaling as an active philosophical practice, which you must do also. You have to be reading, not a little bit, but all the time. We must linger on the works of the master thinkers, Seneca said. Over and over again, we have to return to them. The Stoics aren't something you have read. They are something you need to be reading all of your life. And in fact, there is no good life without study and reflection and wisdom. You have to read, and not just read, but read actively, read strenuously. As Epictetus says, it's not enough to read. You have to read the right things in the right way. Go for a walk. I'm not saying walking will solve all your problems. I'm saying very few of your problems will be made worse for walking. Seneca said we need to take these wandering outdoor walks so that the mind can be nourished and refreshed by open air and deep breathing. It calms you down. It gets you out of your head. It gets you out of your room. It gets you outdoors into the world, into the beauty of the natural world. It gets your mind moving. It will make you better. Stop looking for approval. When you are tempted to look outside yourself for approval, Epictetus says, you have compromised your integrity. If you need a witness, he said, be your own. Marcus Aurelius said, it's the craziest thing in the world. We love ourselves more than other people, but for some reason we care about other people's opinions more than our own. You have to stop complaining, not just out loud, but in your own mind too. Marcus Aurelius said, let no one overhear you complaining, not even yourself. Complaining doesn't make things better. It only makes you feel worse. Stop wasting your time. Death is coming for us all, but not at the end of our life, Seneca said. No, we are dying every day. Every minute that passes is as good as dead to us. It is gone forever. How much time have you already wasted on your phone today? How much time have you wasted ruminating on the past or worrying about the future? Now is now. It is the only thing you have for certain. Memento mori. You are mortal. Live and act accordingly. Stop doing it the easy way. Look, when you have two choices in life, the Stoics say you should choose the one that challenges you the most. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius talks about practicing holding the reins of his horse in his non-dominant hand. He wanted to get used to doing it the way that was not easy or natural to him. This is a metaphor for doing the difficult thing. Take the long way, take the way you're less comfortable with, try it a new way, try it with your non-dominant hand, and watch as you get better. Stop meddling in other people's business. Mistakes, Marcus Aurelius says in Meditations, should be left to their makers. They're on their own journey. They're doing their own thing. You have enough to focus on. When you're perfect, when you are flawless, then you can get up in other people's business. But for now, work on your own enlightenment and your own improvement. Stop talking so much. Just shut up. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, said that. We are getting in our own way. When we are talking, you know what we're doing? We're not listening. You have to stop puffing yourself up. Stop putting on airs. Don't talk about it, the Stoics say. Embody it. The number one impediment to growth and knowledge, Zeno said, was conceit. Ego is the enemy. When you are puffing yourselves up, when you're proud of all that you have accomplished, you know what you're doing? You're not getting better. You're not growing. You're becoming self-satisfied and complacent instead of focusing on all the work that you have to do, on all the things you still have in common with other people. You got to stop looking for the third thing. Look, you've done something good. That's great, Marcus Aurelius said. Someone has benefited from it. It's made the world better. He says, but why, like a fool, do we look for the third thing on top of that? Why do we want credit? Why do we want a favor in return? We did the right thing. We did the nice thing because it was right, because it was nice, because we are generous. We do not need acknowledgement. We do not need a thank you. And we definitely don't need to be paid back. That wasn't why we did it. If we get those things, great, but stop looking for them. Stop following the mob. You got to think for yourself. Chrysippus, one of the early Stoics, said, look, if I wanted to be part of a mob, I would not have become a philosopher. We have to think for ourselves. We have to go to first principles. Whenever you are on the side of the majority, Mark Twain said, pause and reflect. That doesn't mean it's always wrong, but you must think for yourself first. Stop thinking about legacy. Stop thinking about fame. You're not going to be able to enjoy posthumous fame. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius notes that you won't be around to enjoy what people think of you after you are dead. The fact that we are talking about him right now, 2,000 years later, you know what good it does him? Nothing. In Meditations, he points out that Alexander the Great and the man's mule driver both die. They're both buried in the same ground. They are equally ignorant of what the future thinks of them now. Stop extrapolating. Marcus Aurelius, who lived in dangerous times of high infant mortality, he says, my child is sick, but not that they might die of it. Right? He's saying, stop there. Extrapolation is what makes us so miserable. It's what makes us so anxious. It's what makes us so scared. He says, don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. He says, stick with the situation at hand. That is enough. Focus on what's in front of you. Tomorrow will take care of itself. So look, if you liked the ideas in this video and you want a little more wisdom in your life, that's what the new book is about. Wisdom Takes Work. And it is a lot of work. This is the work of one's life. That's the new book. It's the 4th book in the Stoic Virtue series, and you can grab it anywhere books are sold. Stop seeking perfection. You will never get there. Although Epictetus taught some great students and met powerful and important people, he said he never expected to meet a full sage. But he said he was plenty happy to meet someone who was just trying to get better every day. It's not things that upset us, Epictetus says. It is our opinion about things. Things are not asking to be judged by you, Marcus Aurelius says in Meditations. They are. You're the one that's extrapolating. You're the one that's having opinions. You're the ones who said it was supposed to be a certain way. And now guess what? You're upset that it's not that way. We spend so much time worried about how bad things are going to be. We torture ourselves more than the thing that we're worried about. Seneca says, he who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. And in fact, he said we suffer more in our imaginations than we do in reality. Think about it. What are all the things that make you anxious have in common? You are the common ingredient in all of them. That's why Marcus Aurelius says in Meditations that he doesn't escape his anxiety. He discards it because it is within him. It's the fault of his perceptions, nothing outside himself. It's not about you. It doesn't affect you at all. It's not things that upset us, Epictetus says. It's our opinions about things. You have decided that this is about you. You have decided that this harms you. You have decided that it was rude. You have decided that they were trying to hurt your feelings. Stop taking it personally. It's not about you. Make time for some deep work and focus and reflection. In Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, he says you have to concentrate on this task before you like a Roman. He says do it like it's the last thing you're doing in your life. I would say do it like it's the only thing in your life. Put the phone away, close all the tabs in your browser. Don't multitask. Lock in and focus for a large, uninterrupted block. This is what Marcus Aurelius is doing in Meditations. This is what the Stoics were doing in their philosophical classes. Stop drifting about, stop wandering, and focus. Marcus Aurelius didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck what other people thought, and neither should you. The next time you find yourself worrying about what someone else thinks, the next time your feelings are hurt because someone insults you, he says you have to look at what kind of person they are. Think about what they do in private. Think about the standards they hold themselves to. And he says suddenly you'll find you won't need to strain yourself to impress them. Epictetus says, when you look to others for approval, you know what you've done? He says, you have betrayed your own integrity. They're not the judge of what's good. They're not the judge of what's virtuous. They're not the judge of what's important. You are. You set the standards for your own life. You know what's good or not. So why are you looking to them? When I wrote The Daily Stoic 8 years ago, I had this crazy idea that I would just keep it going. The book was 366 meditations, but I'd write one more every single day and I'd give it away for free as an email. I thought maybe a few people would sign up. Couldn't have even comprehended a future in which 750,000 people would get this email every single day and would for almost a decade. If you want to get the email, if you want to be part of a community that is the largest group of Stoics ever assembled in human history, I'd love for you to join us. You can sign up and get the email totally for free. No spam. You can unsubscribe whenever you want at dailystoic.com/email.